The film Amelie begins with an introduction to the title character, born in 1974. She was socially isolated by her parents due to a false health scare. Here, she lets her imagination run freely. At age 6, her mother died while a Canadian tourist was committing suicide from the roof of Notre Dame Cathedral. This led to Amelie and her father becoming more reclusive. At age 18 in 1992, Amelie leaves home and finds a job as a waitress at the Café des Deux Moulins. She enjoys being around her eccentric co-workers. She always finds joy in the little things in life, like cracking the top of creme brulee. In August of 1997, she hears the news of the death of Princess Di. Startled by the news, she drops her perfume, which rolls and dislodges a tile from the base of her bathroom wall. Behind the tile is a crevice with a small box. Inside the box, she finds small toys and cards. Amelie proceeds to search for the man who this box belonged to as a child. When she finds him, she stealthily returns the box to him. They both end up at a cafe where he begins to tell Amelie his life story. With the return of this box, he vows to reconnect with his estranged daughter and meet his grandson. This leads Amelie going on to a mission to make as many people happy as possible. The quest leads her to befriending her reclusive neighbor, Dufayel. While she's trying to help others, it is Dufayel that tells her not to forget to make herself happy first. This becomes key advice to when Amelie is pursuing her own love interest. Amelie is the quintessential feel-good movie. This film basks in romanticism and positivity. For some I know, this is one of their all-time favorite movies. It's hard not to see why. There's no irony, there's no cynicism. It has a message that can resonate with anyone. It feels Capra-esque. It has its quirks. The subplot of Amelie trying to make her dad more outgoing is amusing, with the use of a globe-trotting garden gnome. The extravagant revenge scheme against a rude fruit shopkeeper is hilarious. This is a radical departure, and that's kind of why I'm not a fan of this film. I appreciate it for what it is, but I prefer the stronger stuff. I like the darker edge of a film like Delicatessen. I respond more to darker. Amelie has its moments where it dabbles with that morbidity, particularly in the opening, but it quickly eschews it in favor of lighthearted material. Without a doubt, this is Jeunet's most acclaimed film, both critically and with audiences. Box office-wise, it was probably the most profitable of his films. With only a $10 million budget, he worked wonders. Consider this. $10 million was also the same budget for Office Space. Amelie came out after Jeunet's last film, Alien Resurrection, which had a mixed reception in box office. I'll discuss Jeunet's Alien sequel when I cover that franchise down the line. This may come off as a backhanded comment. Amelie Tiersen didn't grab me like the previous films. There was no theme or melody that stood out to me or caught my ear. I'm sure there are those that adore the soundtrack, but just not me personally. Audrey Tautou is captivating as Amelie. She captures the whimsy of the character perfectly. She manages to keep that childlike wonder even as an adult in a believable manner. Rufus gets the chance to play an endearing role as Amelie's father. I'm used to seeing him play more dastardly characters, but I'm glad to see him as a character that's outside of the norm for him. Dominique Pignon plays one of the patrons of the Café des Deux Moulins. It wouldn't be a Jeunet film without him. Isabelle Nanty stands out as one of Amelie's co-workers at the cafe, a hypochondriac with a crush on Pignon's character. Serge Merlin as Dufayel was just a pleasure to see. I was unaware of him in City of Lost Children. He was the leader of the Cyclopses. As Dufayel, he brings a quiet delicateness to his role. He seems so fragile that even his voice could break him if he speaks too high. I'm not one to discourage people from seeing this film, especially it's one that so many others appreciate. If you haven't seen Amelie yet, I recommend it. It may not be to my taste, but there are still plenty of other elements to enjoy for this film.